guys, and welcome to my channel. My name is Keisha, and I talk about all things related to books I'm reading, books on my TBR, aerial hoop, mental health and my work as a counselor, crafts that I'm doing, fall festivities, cozy seasonal content, sometimes cooking. It's everything that encompasses me in one place. So thank you guys so much for being here, and I can't wait to take you along on my journey through an early fall in the month of August. Monday. Okay, hi guys. It's Wednesday, yet again. It's been a really busy day for me today. Oh gosh, what didn't I do today? I don't even know. Monday, Tuesday, we're prepping for the week. Again, a lot of prepping, a lot of studying for my hoop exam that I'm going to be taking on Friday. So I did like 6 hours of studying yesterday, which was wild. Prepping client sessions and finishing reading The 13th Child finally, as promised, because I was tired of hearing myself talk about it and not really make any progress. So I sat down over the last couple of nights and just hammered through the last 200 pages. And that's kind of what I wanted to chat with you guys about. Today, I literally just came home from teaching my handstands and backbends classes. And it is, what time is it? It's almost 10 o'clock at night. So we're doing a little cozy in my room chat about books. So let's get into it. The 13th Child. I finished it and ended up rating this book 3.5 stars, 3 stars on Goodreads, because you can't rate half stars. I really enjoyed that all of the kind of pieces came together at the end, and there was a lot of action towards the end of the book. Some things that I expected, some that I didn't. There was kind of an on again, off again execution. Our main character Hazel's going through the kingdom with all these twists and turns and surprises as she's, gone through the king's ups and downs of his health issues or the plague, I guess. They call it the brilliance in this book. It's like this kind of gold shimmer that turns to bronze and then eventually black when people get sick. So she's had her challenges with that. There's this extravagant ball at the end of the book. She has to go back to the in-between. I don't want to give too much away, but there's something to do with life and candles. And it was a fun read. It was a very unique plot. I've never really read a story like this before, and I think the author was really unique in creating a book like this. It was my own fault for not really reading the synopsis properly, just not really into royalty and that kind of thing in my books. Otherwise, I might have rated it a little bit higher, but we're done. We're done with The 13th Child. It was like a 500-page book. I don't normally read books with that many pages, I don't think. So it took me a while to get through it, but I am officially done The 13th Child. That being said, I then decided to order the Ex Hex by Erin Sterling. Oh, another Erin, would you look at that? This book came highly recommended from a YouTuber that I watch. There's this, I don't know, I finished reading something that was a little bit darker. I wouldn't say that The 13th Child was super dark, not as like horror, thriller, trauma as I would typically read, but it still had some dark undertones in it. So I wanted something a little bit lighter, and that's where the Ex Hex came into play. I'll read you guys the synopsis. It was 9 years ago, Vivian Jones nursed her broken heart like any young witch would. Vodka, weepy music, bubble baths, and a curse on the horrible boyfriend. Sure, Vivi knows she shouldn't use her magic this way, but with only an orchard hayride, scented candle on hand, she isn't worried it will cause him anything more than a bad hair day or two. That is until Rise Penhallow, descendant of the town's ancestors, breaker of hearts, and annoyingly just as gorgeous as he always was, returns to Gravesglen, Georgia. What should be a quick trip to recharge the town's ley lines and make an appearance at the annual fall fair turns disastrously wrong. With one calamity after another striking Rise, Vivi realizes her silly little Ex Hex may not have been so harmless after all. Suddenly, Graves Glen is under attack from murderous wind-up toys, a pissed-off ghost, and a talking cat with some interesting things to say. How intriguing. Vivi and Rise have to ignore their off-the-charts chemistry to work together to save the town and find a way to break the breakup curse before it's too late. It just sounds cute and cozy. I mean, it's set in fall. I think it's going to be a lighter and an easier read, so I'm actually really looking forward to diving into this. And then impromptu, very impromptu, because I had this book in my Amazon cart and honestly forgot about it. It randomly came into my head and I was like, I have to order that. The Face on the Milk Carton by Carolyn B. Cooney. This book has been around for a while, and I know that because the very first time I read it, I think I was like 12 years old. And it's like a core memory locked in my brain. I remember where I was when I was reading it. I remember how I felt when I was reading it. It was the first book that I ever read that was like kind of blew my mind and something like I'd never read before. I'll read the synopsis for this one as well. No one ever really paid close attention to the faces of the missing children on the milk cartons, but as Janie Johnson glanced at the face of the ordinary little girl with her hair in tight pigtails, wearing a dress with a narrow white collar, a 3-year-old who had been kidnapped 12 years before from a shopping mall in New Jersey, she felt overcome with shock. She recognized that little girl. It was she. How could it possibly be true? Janie can't believe that her loving parents kidnapped her, but as she begins to piece things together, nothing makes sense. Something is terribly wrong. Are Mr. and Mrs. Johnson really her parents? And if not, who is Janie Johnson and what really happened? It's a very light book compared to the thickness and weightedness of this hardcover that I just finished. But what's most exciting about rereading this years later is that when it arrived from Amazon, I flicked to the back of it and realized there are 6 different books following the main character, Janie. I had no idea. I only ever read this book, but I have now been informed that there's a face on the milk carton, whatever happened to Janie, the voice on the radio, what Janie found, what Janie saw, and Janie face to face. So now I'm like, oh gosh, I have to read them all. I have to read them all. And I'm really excited. So I think I'm going to read the Ex Hex first, and then I'm going to dive into the face on the milk carton. Those are my next 2 reads. And then I actually got, I was chatting with one of my friends today, and divine timing, all of these things kind of coming to fruition as they will. I realized, okay, I need to take that pin out of my PTSD book and dive back into it for work purposes. So I'm going to be reading those two books at the same time again. And then one of my favorite authors, as I was like sleuthing through my TBR list on Goodreads, I realized that Rachel Harrison, I know she's been writing books like mad, and I love her books. The first fiction novel that I ever read coming back into reading in 2023 was Cackle by Rachel Harrison, and I love that book. I would reread that book, hands down. But I realized her hardcover of So Thirsty came out. I'll leave a picture here for you guys. But the paperback is coming out August 19th. So I'm getting ready for that, you guys, because this book honestly sounds so good. Maybe you've read it already, maybe you haven't, but I'll read you guys the synopsis because it just sounds fire. Sloane Parker is dreading her birthday. She doesn't need a reminder she's getting older or that she's feeling indifferent about her own life. Her husband surprises her with a birthday weekend getaway. Not with him, but with Sloane's longtime best friend, troublemaker extraordinaire Naomi. Sloane anticipates a weekend of wine tastings and cozy robes and strategic avoidance of issues she'd rather not confront, like her husband's repeated infidelity. But when they arrive at their rental cottage, it becomes clear Naomi has something else in mind. She wants Sloane to stop letting things happen to her, for Sloane to really live. So Naomi orchestrates a wild night out with a group of mysterious strangers, only for it to take a horrifying turn that changes Sloane's and Naomi's lives literally forever. The friends are forced to come to terms with some pretty eternal consequences in this bloody, seductive novel about how it's never too late to find satisfaction, even though it might taste different than expected. Does that not sound so freaking good or what? I was confused because the hardback came out last year and it's now the paperback that's going to be released on August 19th. So I'm waiting for the paperback because I'm a paperback girly. So that's exciting for like my mid-August reads because I know I'm going to just blast through these. And then Rachel Harrison has another book, which I will also put up on the screen for you guys, called Play Nice. Both of the covers of these books are just beautiful, like really just grab my attention, in addition to the incredible freaking synopsis. So let me read the Play Nice synopsis for you because it sounds really good. Okay. Cleo Louise Barnes leads a picture-perfect life as a stylist and influencer, but beneath the glossy veneer, she harbors a not-so-glamorous secret. She grew up in a haunted house. Well, not haunted, possessed. After Cleo's parents' messy divorce, her mother Alex moved Cleo and her sisters into a house occupied by a demon, or so Alex claimed. That's not what Cleo's sister remembers or what the courts determined when they stripped her of custody after she went off the deep end. But Alex was insistent. She even wrote a book about her experience in the house. So we've got like family dynamics, custody battles, weird demonic houses. I'm here for all of it. After Alex's sudden death, the supposedly possessed house passes to Cleo and her sisters, where her sisters see childhood trauma. Cleo sees an opportunity for house flipping content. Okay. Only as the home makeover process begins, Cleo discovers there might be some truth to her mother's claims. As memories resurface and Cleo finally reads her mother's book, a sinister presence in the house manifests, revealing ugly truths that threaten to shake Cleo's beautiful life to its very foundation. Does that not sound so freaking good? Like it has everything that I love in it. We've got trauma, we've got a possessed house, we've got family dynamics. Obviously there's a component of like, the sisters or the daughters not believing the mom, but then the table's turning. We've got like kind of mystery, thriller, horror. It sounds amazing. It sounds amazing, and it sounds like something that I need to read and probably won't get to until September. But that's kind of the perfect time to read a book like that, at least in my opinion. And that one is going to be released on September 9th. And it's a hardcover. I'm just going to have to get the hardcover because I don't think the paperback is going to come out until later. But I've got my next so many books planned out, you guys, because I've got the Ex Hex. I've got the Face on the Milk card with 5 additional books that obviously I'm going to read after I finish this one. 2 new Rachel Harrison books and my PTSD book. So I better get to reading. I need to get on it. I'm actually really excited. And I noticed a difference in finishing this last book. When you're not super into a book, maybe you would DNF it. Maybe. I don't DNF a lot of books because I'm very, I don't know what you would call it, OCD, neurotic, a little bit of both. I have a really hard time. It pains me not to finish a book unless it's really that bad. So I kind of felt like I was trudging along, but not super into the last book that I read. And now I'm really excited because I feel it in my body. It's like a different visceral experience and energy that I have towards reading these books. So I've had a very long day. As I say that, I'm like, oh my gosh, my back. I'm gonna go eat, I think my girlfriend made these like pulled chicken coleslaw bun sandwiches. I don't know, they're delicious. I'm gonna go eat some of those because my stomach is literally growling. I've had more caffeine than I have food today. And then I'm just gonna chill, do some reading tonight. I have a full day of clients tomorrow and then hoop in the evening. So I probably won't get to filming tomorrow, but I will keep you guys updated on my week and probably see you guys on Friday. Good morning, you guys. It's Friday. I've had some technical difficulties this morning. My microphone died. So if you hear an echo in here, that's why. My apologies. It's been a slow morning. I woke up at like 9:30, laid in bed for half an hour, made my protein coffee because I listened to a Mel Robbins podcast a few months ago, and she had a doctor on there that was speaking to how a lot of women will just wake up in the morning and have a coffee on an empty stomach, and how that can really negatively impact your hormones and your health. So I made my coffee and then put in my new pumpkin spice syrup that I ran and picked up yesterday because I was out and I did not have the energy to make some myself, but I can't have my coffee without some sort of sweetener in it because I am a little hummingbird. And then I just threw my almond milk in the frother with a scoop of protein powder, and that's what I've been living off of for the last few weeks. It's delicious. Highly, highly recommend. And then I have not read yet this morning, but I did read a little bit last night before I went to bed. Yesterday kind of rocked me, you guys, I'm not gonna lie. I had a very busy day at the office with clients, and then I went to my own hoop class last night for some training, which the struggle just felt so real. I've been dealing with some tendonitis in my elbow. It felt like it was getting better, but then after last night's class, I'm not so sure. It's like this motion, just extending my arm, doesn't feel very good. And I feel like this is 30 because I could recover from injuries and strains and things in my 20s, like no problem. I swear I could like fall, hit my head, and then just wake up and go to work the next day like nothing ever happened. But that is not the case. That is not the case. Now that I'm in my 30s, it's getting gloomy. I wonder if it's gonna rain, you guys. It's like a little bit moody, and I'm here for it. And then I came home, I had to write all my notes last night, and then I did read one chapter of my book because I was fading. So tired. But I'm loving it. I'm loving it so far because I did realize that I've been pronouncing one of the characters' names wrong. I think I pronounced it like Rias, but it's actually Reese. My bad. I find some of the characters' names are actually hard to pronounce. There's like another one. I think his nickname is Wells, but his real name is like Leloise or something. I'm having a hard time with the names in this book, you guys, trying to keep it straight, but it's a fun read, so it's not upsetting me. And one thing that I really like that the author did is the main character Vivian, her cousin Gwen, there's like a part in one of the chapters where she's like texting somebody like on the sly. They're like, who are you texting? Why are you being so weird? And it turns out it's this girl that she's been seeing who's also, I believe, the mayor of their town or something. And I'm like, Erin, you literally put a lesbian witch character in this book, and now I'm hooked. Like, thank you. Because it's like a fun little surprise when there's a lesbian character, and not just a lesbian character, but a lesbian witch character. Come on, you guys. Say less. So I'm really enjoying this so far. I'm only on page 42, chapter 5. It's like a 300-page book, so I would love if I was able to just finish it this weekend, but I do have a lot going on and also not a lot going on. Loving this book so far. And today, I'm all over the place, you guys, today, so just bear with me. Today I have to do a little bit more studying, compile all of my notes, and then just write my hoop exam. That is the most important thing, like at the top of my list today. So I really need to just get that done and out of the way. I'm gonna need more coffee for that because I'm feeling like I have some brain fog. I called and made a nail appointment for tomorrow morning because my nails are starting to grow out, and when I grab the hoop, they start to kind of poke me in my hands, and it's really uncomfortable. I also got one of it's just like shellac on the top of my nails, but when my nail got stuck on the strap last night when I was training, it like pulled back, and I've never had a nail rip. I don't want to find out what that's like, so I'm just gonna go get my nails done. And then I'm gonna go do some watercolor painting tomorrow at the studio. I've got a friend that's coming over in the evening just to kind of hang out and chill. Sunday I've got a couple of clients and then just prepping for next week. But let's rewind and come back to today, because I totally forgot to mention that it is a full moon in Aquarius, which is my moon sign. So if you're not familiar with astrology or it's new to you, we all have our three major signs, which are our sun, our moon, and our rising. And tonight on the full moon, which I'm not going to forget to film bits and pieces of it for you guys, I do my moon ritual. So, you know, I'll decide what color taper candle I'm gonna light depending on what intentions I have, clear and cleanse my space with, I usually use incense and sage. And then I do a little bit of, I put some music on, I do a little bit of journaling, writing down everything that I'm ready to release, purge, let go of, and then I'll burn that in my little burn pot, charge my crystals in the windowsill, you know, make some moon water. It's a whole vibe. I don't know if I mentioned pull a tarot card, but definitely pull a tarot card for the moon ritual. So I'm gonna film that for you guys because I said I was gonna film my new moon ritual and I forgot. So that's going on this evening, and then that's it. I mean, I really do need to get back into the post-traumatic stress book that I started. I'm only on chapter 3, for work purposes, and really just start to like highlight to the max and plug things along. But I don't want to get into this until I've written my hoop exam, because I just feel like it's too much information coming at me at once, but that is a priority. So one thing I've noticed with my schedule in literally the last week is that it's growing exponentially with things from different categories in my life. So, you know, some of it's work related with clients, some of it is training related, hoop related, teaching related. It's just kind of all over the map right now. And sometimes that can mean my energy is really scattered and I'm feeling a little bit of that. Like I don't know where to put my energy, or in one given day, I've got like 5 different things that I need to like put on this hat, take this hat off, put on this hat, take this hat off. And oftentimes I love that. Like it really helps me just kind of feel like I'm doing different things and I don't get stuck in, what would you even call that? Just like fatigue or lack of creativity, for a better word. But sometimes it's hard. Sometimes it's hard to bounce around from one thing to the next. So I'm gonna sit down this weekend and really plan out what's the most effective and useful use of my time. And I'm gonna take you guys along for my weekend activities in August.
I think I gotta slow down, and I know I gotta take control now. But I sold my soul a long time ago. I feel like a ghost now.
Update, you guys, I just passed my hoop exam. I actually can't believe it because it's just been a stressful experience writing my fitness theory exam, and that took me what felt like ages, and I was very nervous when I clicked submit and like covered my eyes. I didn't want to look at what grade I got, but I passed. I needed to get an 80, I got an 86. I'm so relieved because I've been like really putting in the work studying for this, and I just didn't know what to expect. So it's Friday at almost 5 p.m. and now I can breathe. That is my first week of August, you guys. Thank you so much for being here. I so appreciate it.
You know, we're getting into my favorite time of the year, and I'm really, really grateful to be able to share it with you guys. So as always, I'll encourage, if you like this video, to like, share, subscribe, and I can't wait to see you in my next video.